Hi, and welcome back to our next two segments of our installation video series for Wakefield Bridge metal shingles. My name is Brad Whitley. Today we'll be showing you how to properly install a pre-manufactured static vent and how to properly install a roof jack, where steep slopes require jacks and planks to safely install the Wakefield Bridge metal shingles. Ideal Roofing prides themselves in helping educate contractors, homeowners, or anyone interested in learning more about Wakefield Bridge metal shingles and the step-by-step installation procedure to all components that make this shingle system so easy to work with. Like any ventilation system, we must first calculate our airflow needs. This applies to remodels or new builds. This is better known as the NFA, the net free area, and to do this, we divide the roof square footage by the square inch footage requirements of the hole that is provided by the desired manufacturer that you so choose to go with. Now that we understand the ventilation requirements, let's move on to the regular roof vent installation demonstration. We've prepared our mock-up roof to allow the hole for the vent to be a few feet below the ridge and to allow easier access for purpose of this training video. All roof vents should be at least 24 inches below the ridge line for maximum efficiency, unless installing into a lower attic cavity space. With new construction or re-roofing, please follow the steps and guidelines in their proper sequence for best results. Let's get started with some of the recommended procedures. First, mark out your vent locations. Usually vents are installed at the rear or side elevations of your home for obvious aesthetic reasons. By the way, these steps can be applied to most metal vent penetrations where the design is the same. For example, metal flapper vents. Note, it is always important to follow the manufacturer's guidelines. Never create a hole larger than the underside hole provided by the manufacturer. For today's demonstration, I have already installed the first two rows of Wakefield Bridge metal shingles. I first bend up the left and right hand side of the base portion of the vent to create a controlled water channel on either side. I then put the vent in place, overlapping the lower shingle by roughly 3 to 4 inches. The maximum front overlap spacing shouldn't be more than 5.5 to 6 inches, leaving roughly 1/3 of the overall vent base exposed. I then apply a liver bead of sealant beneath the front flange to make a watertight seal. After applying the sealant, I evenly space color matching screws to hold the front flange down into place. Next, I install custom-made clips to secure the sides of the vent into place. This assures us of no holes inside the base area, alleviating any potential leaks. I now install a 6-inch peel and stick on the remaining 3 sides, and I overlap the modified water channel that we bent with the peel and stick to seal up these areas properly. Now we can begin to install the third row of shingles up to the left-hand side of the vent without touching, but overlapping the water channel that we had bent previously. I then fold the right side of the shingle down under itself to increase stability and enhance the appearance. Next, we'll repeat the same steps coming from the right-hand side of the vent. With the third row now complete and the vent in place, we can begin the fourth row. I now install our hook starter at the bottom portion of the hole to lock the lower part of the shingle into place. First, I measure and cut out the necessary width from the bottom portion of the shingle. I allow 3/4 of an inch extra material on all 3 sides of the cutout to allow us to be able to fold and connect to the starter and again increase the stability and enhance the appearance on both sides. Best practice is to add a bead of sealant below the shingle line where it is connected to the hook starter to ensure a watertight seal. This completes our static vent portion of the lesson. Let's now move on to the roof jack installation. This is a quick and simple method to add jacks and planks to your steep slopes. Ideal Roofing does not provide any roof jacks or recommends any particular manufacturer. Please make sure to use an approved roofing jack system in your region. Safety is really important at this stage. Here are a few important considerations. Hitting rafters and trusses is the safest method to secure the jack system into place. Always be tied off with an OSHA-approved fall protection at all times on the roof. And space the jacks accordingly so as to not allow the planks to deflect in between the jacks, thus avoiding potentially damaging any of the shingles. Okay, let's begin installing our jack. I start by locating a rafter, then place the jack, overlapping it by the required amount on the lower shingle. Remember to place a protective material between the jack and the shingle to avoid any scratching to the shingle. Once you're satisfied with the location and everything lines up, I now take the shingle that will sit on top of the jack. I mark the butt end by the width of the hand seamers that are roughly 4 inches wide, indicating where I will mark my cuts. After making my first 2 straight cuts, I slightly angle cut the back bottom of the underside of the shingle. I then fold out the metal, trim the male portion off by roughly 1/4 of an inch to allow the fold to be able to go back into its place for the jack removal. We now install the prepared shingle into place, add our screws, and this completes the jack installation. Best practice is to place a metal slip sheet between the nail heads and the underside of the shingle to prevent the nail heads damaging the shingle after the jack has been removed. Once you remove the jack, seal the hole with clear silicone, then fold back the butt end of the shingle to where it becomes almost invisible. Voila, it's that simple. This concludes our roof jack installation. Thank you for watching these 2 segments. If there are any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me at bwhitley@idealroofing.com. Thank you very much.